Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here and welcome to another review. And now we're taking a look at Astérix for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, brought out by Infogrames in 1993. As you probably guessed, it's based on René, Goscinny and Albert Uderzo's famous book line. And it's set in 50 BC. And Astérix is one of a selection of indomitable Gauls, Gauls being what French people used to be called back in the day. So here's our introduction. The peace and serenity of the indomitable Gauls village has been disrupted by a disturbing piece of news. Obelix has been captured by a Roman patrol and at this very moment is being taken to an unknown destination. The village council has gathered and decided that you, Astérix, must set off to find Obelix before Caesar throws him to the lions. Poor things. Vital statistics. Okay. One thing bothers me about the plot in this. Firstly, you'd have more chance of seeing the Virgin Mary than you would have been able to kidnap Obelix in the first place, because what makes the Gaulish people so powerful and has helped them to hold out against Julius Caesar's army is that the local druid Getafix brews a magic potion that gives the drinker superhuman strength, and Obelix fell into such a cauldron as a baby, and the effects on him were permanent. So how on earth could anyone kidnap Obelix? I mean, he'd be able to just break through metal chains like they were tinfoil. And I very much doubt he'd be scared of lions, because he could just hit them once and send them flying. So you got three different difficulty settings. And the other main problem is it wipes out any chance of two-player option that could have really helped boost a game. So one player. Act 1-1. Okay, so we've got a platformer, and Astérix has got a punch like that. So you punch a wild boar. Now, bear in mind these Gauls are into their wild boar in a big way, especially Obelix. And the moment you punch one of those, they instantly turn into a cooked version, as they would. That's quite nice, the way when you punch a Roman soldier they get sent flying just like they would have done in the books and in the cartoons. Oh dear, respawning enemies. That's often a bone of contention for games. And you can use the L and R buttons to have a scan left and right to see what you might be, which can be. Now you can't be like Mario and bot these. You have to punch them. Yeah, you got the usual thing. That's one of that's a golden sickle. Now the significance of golden sickles in the Astérix universe is that Getafix has to use one of those in order to make his magic potions, be it the superhuman strength one I mentioned earlier, or indeed any other kind. And you've got a set number of lives, and you've got a health meter, which is shown by the hearts, and near to where it says player 1 in the top right corner. Now you might be thinking, well, you said that not having Obelix meant there's no two-player option, but it said two-player. Well, it's not simultaneous two-player, unfortunately, which is a real shame, because that could have really helped to bring something extra to the table. Right, so I've been given superhuman strength, and the jump button didn't work. Right back to the start. It's proportional jumping, so the longer you hold down the jump button, the further you can jump, obviously up to a maximum, because he's Astérix, not Superman. Oh dear. One thing I don't like about Astérix is that the controls are a little bit stiff. Something about the weightiness of the character doesn't feel quite right. I can't really put my finger on what it is. There might be just a tiny fraction too much inertia. Right, so, and you can also press it up and down on the D-pad to do a similar thing of scrolling the view up and down to see to get a better view of what you might be heading towards in any particular direction. For left and right, you don't use left and right obviously because that's from walking left and right, so you just use L and R for those instead. Oh god, some of the jumps are a little bit fiddly in this, so that's another thing that's a bit of a bone of contention. You have to be right at the very end of those particular ones to make it across. The hit detection is a bit iffy. I clearly never touched that porcupine thing, whatever it is. Okay, where do I go now? There's a bush down there, so... Oh, that's right over here again. Oh, I see. Yeah. Do you remember the bit in the books where Astérix went around punching bats and spiders? I mean, do you remember that bit? I don't. Oh, God. God, did I need that. I wish Astérix could actually run. I mean, he can only walk, and he can only move faster if he picks up one of those cauldrons to give him superhuman strength for a bit. Yeah, I don't entirely hate this, but it's nothing special. It doesn't really do a great deal that other similar platformers do. Oh. No, that's how the Roman soldiers when Asterix beats them up. Oh, there's dogmatics. That must have been what that bone thing was. I'll take it back. It does have some original ideas. Yeah. What? See what I mean? Some of the jumping's a little bit fiddly. Oh, you can walk a bit faster. You just hold down the Y button. Oh, crikey, that was close. It's not much faster though. Okay, did a bird in an Astérix game just pooed on me? What? Oh. nice. The backgrounds are a little bit bland. Oh God, forgot about that. So that's Astérix for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It's okay, but it's not exactly setting the world alight. It's not. The Mario games are far more enjoyable than that, and have more to them than this. This is. I mean, this does have one or two novel ideas, like being able to have dogmatics bite a Roman soldier in the bum, and so you can walk harmlessly past him, like you saw earlier. Graphics are quite nice. Astérix looks like Astérix, and when you saw those other characters during that intro, they looked like their respective characters. Perhaps they could have done with being drawn a little bit more cleanly than they actually were. I mean, yeah, they're recognisable, but the outlines could have done with being a bit more distinct to make them look a bit cleaner. Scrolling that through, the backgrounds are a little bit bland. The sound effects they're okay, but they're a bit muddy. And the music is sprightly enough, but the samples they've used just aren't of a particularly great quality. I have heard the Super Nintendo do far better quality instrument samples than this. I mean, just listen to the music in Super Castlevania 4, for instance, or The Secret of Mana, or both ActRaiser games. Those absolutely piss all over the music in this. At least in terms of instrument quality. The tunes themselves aren't too bad. Gameplay. Well, it's a bit too much of a run-of-the-mill platformer to particularly stand out, and the fact that they had that ridiculous plot device of Obelix being captured meant that it wiped out any chance of two-player action. I mean, Astérix by himself without Obelix, it's almost unheard of in that universe. And Astérix without his faithful companion just seems incomplete. I mean, the two just spar off each other in such an entertaining way that you just can't imagine them being apart for lengthy periods. And when you've got just Astérix, it robs the game of one thing that made the franchise upon which it's based so special. I mean, yeah, you've got Dogmatics, but he's not there with you all the time, so to speak. So I think I'm going to give Astérix on the Super Nintendo 7 out of 10. It's another of those could have been but isn't. It's just not really got enough to it to help it stand out from the crowd, and it could have been so much more entertaining than it ultimately was, especially given the pedigree of its license. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that review. Catch you on another one soon. Texie88 out.